So, welcome to Lunchtime Stretch. We're going to go ahead and go through a little bit of some chair yoga stretches that could make your Monday just a little better. So, as you can see, everyone is home today. We had a couple of kids who weren't feeling so hot this morning. So, we're going to go ahead now, like most of you. I have been doing a lot of stuff from home through all this pandemic stuff, and I'm looking at increasing my mobility because this last year has not been so great. And I find myself very tight, very tense, and wanting to loosen up. So we're going to go ahead and get started on a little bit of a stretch here. Now I'm going to have my phone here so that I can see what time it is. We're going to do about a half hour. All right, so you're in your chair, and we spend most of our time every day being very sedentary in our chairs. What we're going to do is do some stretches, and our buns are not going to leave the chair, or if they do leave the chair, our hands will still be touching so that we can have some more balance and stability. So sit in your chair, and the first thing we're going to do is work on sitting nice and tall. Now usually when you're sitting in a chair, you'll find yourself through the day doing some of this, or you're kind of like this and you're laying across your keyboard or across your desk, or you're kind of like this. But we're going to change a little bit of that, and we're going to pay some very close attention to our posture. So we're going to sit and we're going to scoot our butt all the way back to this section of your chair. Now this is really great if you have a chair with no arms. Unfortunately, I do not here at home, so I'm using an office chair just so I can swivel a little easier and show you guys. So in your office chair, you want to scoot your booty all the way back so that you have like a 90-degree angle here. And then you should have some lower back support, or if you have a folding chair, it should hit you right about here so that you have a nice gentle lumbar curve, right here. You're going to put your hands on the arms of your chair, or you can put them right here in your lap. So we're going to go ahead and put our hands palm up, either in your lap or on the arms of your chair, and then we're going to breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Don't pay attention to anything that's going on around you. Just go ahead and breathe it in. Acknowledge it's happening. Blow it out. In. Out. As you breathe out, envision the stress leaving from your neck and from your shoulders. Picture your lungs being a little bit of a recycling center for all of the energy around you. You want to breathe it in, and if it's hostile and rigid, you're going to recycle that into soft, warm, and fuzzy, and blow it out. We're going to go ahead and start. You want to make sure, you can't see my feet in the recording, but you want to make sure that your feet are both touching the floor in a nice, even way. So no tippy toes. You want flat feet on the floor, no side. You don't want your feet off to the side. You don't want your legs crossed. We want nice and flat legs at a gentle, relaxed pace. We don't want them too wide. We don't want them squeezed together. Just gentle. Where they fall is where your hip set is. Everyone's a little different, so your hip set will be a little different. Nice deep breath. Let it out. We're going to go ahead and take these arms, nice big across, stretch back. When you do this, you're going to arch that back just a little bit. Breathe in as you stretch that breastbone up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to breathe out. And when you do it, you're going to take one hand and reach to the side of the outside of the opposite thigh or knee. When you do that, it will cause your back round a little bit. And you're going to breathe in and really stretch that back kind of upwards towards the ceiling. It's kind of at an angle, so it would be like at the corner where the ceiling meets the wall. Breathe in. In, stretching up at that arch. Out. Let it relax. Now we're going to put our hands either on our knees or on the arms of your chair. And we're going to do a sitting cat-cow stretch. So on your knees will look like this. We're going to arch the back as we breathe in. And then we're going to push that towards the back wall as we breathe out. So breathe in and get that sway in the back. And then breathe out. In. Out. One more. In. Out. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take these arms nice and wide like we just did. Big stretch. Spread those fingers all the way up. Oh, you can see I'm yawning and I'm shaking off the Mondays. Stretch those fingers all the way out. We're going to reach one arm across the chest. You want to aim to have this part of your elbow inserted into the crease. If you can't, that's fine, but you want to keep it nice and straight. So if you have to reach over the top of the boobs, okay. If you have to reach under the boobs, probably not so easy. So we want to go over the top. If you cannot get your elbow into the bend of the other elbow, you can go out here, but you want to keep the arm nice and straight. Try not to bend it so much, because then you're going to get that stretch across the back and through the shoulder. We're going to bring that across. Deep breath. Go ahead and switch arms. Really feel that stretch through the back and around the shoulder blade. Bring those arms out. Really push that you get stretched through the chest and the pecs. The opposite sides of the legs as you breathe out. So we're going to go ahead and just give those hands a little shake. And we're going to reach one hand back behind us. This would be like half of a cow face arm. It's also a nice tricep stretch. So you're going to push just as far as what is gentle so that you bring that hand down and give yourself a pat on the back. Give it just a little push. Bring those hands down, give them a little shake. We're going to bring this one back. Just give it a little push, stretch that tricep. Give yourself a pat on the back. Thank yourself for showing up this Monday. Mondays can be hard. Bring those hands down. Wave them around a little bit. Now, you're sitting in your chair. If you have arms on your chair, we're going to go ahead and do a seated spinal twist, and you're going to pull yourself around. Now, the butt stays put, so the hips stay facing front, but the torso stretches. Breathe out on the stretch. Come back to center. Take a deep breath. Now, if you don't have any arms on your chair, what you're going to do is you're going to pull at the leg and pull yourself around. You can also grab the back of your chair, like if you're in a folding chair, you can grab the back. You can use both hands if you would like. One is sufficient. out all that tension. Oh, the yawn will peek out. That's okay. Go ahead and give yourself a little wave around. We're going to stretch that head. You're going to pull, nice straight neck, no in. So you're going to keep your head nice and straight. Bring the arm up, grasp at the side, pull so that you bring your ear towards your shoulder. This hand, you're going to put behind you. Now you can go as far as what is comfortable. You can go a little bit or a whole lot, like you're reaching into the opposite back pocket. Breath. And we're going to go ahead, bring our arms out, and then we're going to switch. Wrap that arm around, bring the ear down towards the shoulder, bring this hand. If here's all you've got, that's fine. If you can go all the way so that you're reaching in that opposite back pocket area, that's fantastic. I'm going to pull that head over. Breathe out. And bring those arms back down. Give them a wave around. Now, we're going to work on the legs and the hips a little bit as much as we can. We're going to slide our booty to the edge, just like this, right? So you want your sits bones still on the edge. You don't want to slide off, but we want to give ourselves a little bit of play so that we have some room back here. What we're going to do is we're going to stretch our legs out long with our knees together. Now we want a little bit of tension here. We're going to take our arms and fold down, reach down the legs. Really pull the muscle at the belly button. You want to suck in your belly so that it's pulling towards that spine and get the stretch through the lower back and the hips. When you breathe out, see if you can go just a smidge further. If you feel yourself stretching or slipping, like your booty is slipping, sometimes, you know, if you're wearing slippier fabric, you can grab your desk or a table or a couch or whatever is nearby. You can grab that so that you don't slide all the way off, give you a little bit of support. Come back up. And then we're going to take our legs. Now, we're going to do like a pigeon pose modification in the seat. We're going to take our leg. If you cross it at the front of the calf, right about here, that's fine. If you cross the ankle, that's fine. If you can get that leg all the way up here, like when you're tying your shoes, that is great. So I will do it up at the top. You put the leg up here, and you're going to keep your hips nice and square, and you want to lean forward. Now, if you cannot lean forward very much, that's fine. If this is all you get, that's fine. Now, if you can get all the way over, fantastic. If you can't, as long as what you're feeling is a stretch in that hip back here, that is what we're aiming for, is to loosen up that hip a little bit. So many of us are tight in the hips. On the exhale, bring it down just a hair more. And we're going to switch. Nice deep breath. On the exhale, bring it where you can put it. Front of the calf, ankle, all the way up. We're going to bring it here. Sit nice and tall. If you have a little bit of an extra belly, move it over with your hands. There's no yoga police that are going to come get you. Big deep breath. Stretch. Lean forward from the hips, pulling that belly button in towards the spine. Doesn't matter if anybody can visibly see it, as long as you feel it. All right. So we're already getting good and stretched. Now, this may be a little hard to do depending on where the handles, where the arms of your chair sit, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn to the side. Now, if you have to come off the edge a little bit, that's okay. If you can get across the actual seat, like you have a folding chair with no arms, you can do that as well. And I have a video that I'll be posting that shows that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to stretch this leg as long as we can get it, okay? So what we're looking for is to get almost like a lunge. Now, feel free to hold on to a table, a wall, the arm of the chair, a couch, whatever you need so that you can achieve enough balance. We're going to really stretch out that leg, and we're looking at stretching out that hip flexor in the front. And then we're going to switch into center, get your bearing, and go the other direction. You might have to come off to the edge a little bit so that that front leg has enough play. We're going to stretch. Really feel that hip flexor stretch in the front. Bring it back. All right. So I'm going to do this up here. You probably would not, but I want to make sure that you see what I'm doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to just point and flex those feet. Point and flex. Point, flex. Point, flex. Point, flex. We're going to throw in just a little bit of a foot stretch. You bring your feet together at the inside, and you're going to rotate soles together, then bring them out, then heel back, toe, rotate heel soles together. Point, flex. Give them a circle, 4, change the rotation direction. And then we're going to come forward, and we're going to do like a pyramid almost. All right, almost 20 more minutes of stretching here. So you're going to do a nice wide stance. This isn't something that you do when your coworkers are around. And you want to kind of straighten the legs a little bit. And this is one where if you have to hold on to something in front of you so you don't fall, that is okay. And we're going to hinge at the hips and bring it down. If you have handles on your chair, you can hold those handles or the arms, or you can hold the bars at the back of a folding chair. And what we're going to do is we're going to just come down. And that stretches the back of the hamstrings and the butt. Tight glutes really are responsible for a lot of pain in life. Brings a whole new meaning to someone being a tight ass. Go ahead and roll up nice and slow. Now, obviously, there are some yoga poses that you cannot do in a chair that while you're totally seated. So we're going to go ahead and do almost like a child's pose. We're going to come up, we're going to turn, and we're going to hold on to that chair. Now you can hold on to the arms if you have them, or to the seat. What we're going to do is just put a bend in those knees, and we're going to stretch across the back. Now, if the belly's in the way, feel free. Take a nice wide stance. Really get that stretch across the back. Some deep breaths. Now, I always like to add a little bit of a twist. So you grab the back of the chair and you put one arm over here. Drop the butt to go into that squat, which is almost like a child's pose type stretch. And then we're going to switch and grab the other direction, do a little twist, bring the butt down. Come up. And then we're going to take just a moment to breathe and center. So we should feel a nice little bit of stretch. It's a good way to wake up in the middle of the afternoon, you know, when you feel in that, oh, I need a cup of 2 o'clock coffee. This is a good way to get yourself up and moving. It only takes a few minutes. You can do it on your lunch break. You can do it in between calling clients, whatever you need to do to kind of get the juices flowing. And as you can see, the majority of that we did while we sat on our butts. So it's not something like you have a headset. You can be making phone calls while you're stretching. No one's ever going to know who's going to see you. So we're going to go ahead and take some breathing. Just take a few moments to breathe and let out the remainder of that stress. I like to always put a hand on what would be like the Dan Tandian, right down here in your sacral chakra. Go ahead and put one hand there, one hand on the chest, which would be the heart chakra, and just feel the warmth of your hands. And we're going to breathe. And when we breathe, if you're good at visualization, you want to visualize a nice, like almost like a lightsaber lighting up, going from one to the other. Connecting those two energy centers. While you're breathing, I want to thank you for coming for the quick chair stretch, and hopefully we see you back again. This is just an example of what can be done sitting in your chair, implementing different aspects of yoga into your day when you least expect it. Just a quick stretch, that was right. 25-30 minutes of stretching and breathing, just to get a little more flexibility in your body, which then translates to a little more flexibility up here, and just an overall better demeanor. So, deep breath. Thank you for being with me, and hopefully we see you back for more.